Hi, I'm Tracy DiVincenzo, and I am doing my assignment for the subsystems and myofascial lines. The superficial back line, what it does is it supports the body in full upright extension, connects the full posterior, as you can see in my little guy here, posterior surface of the body from the bottom of the foot to the top of the head in two pieces, from the toes to the knees, and the knees all the way up from the back of the skull to the brow. When standing as a knee extension, the superficial back line acts as one continuous line of integrated myofascia. Some of the postural functions: it supports the body in full upright extension, requires greater amount of slow twitch endurance muscle fibers. Some of the movement functions: it creates extension and hyperextension, assists in infancy to lift baby's head from flexion to when it's stable all the way up to standing. So when they're lying down on their tummies, it helps bring that head back. The superficial front line connects the full anterior surface of the body, from the top of the feet all the way up to the skull, also in two pieces, from the toes to the pelvis, and then the pelvis up to the head. When standing, as in hip extension, it functions as one continuous line of integrated myofascia. The posterior functions: acts to balance the superficial back line, assists in tensile support from top to lift the parts of the skeleton that extend past that gravity line. So as you have your gravity line here, anything that's too far forward, which is the front of the face, the rib cage, and the pubis, it acts to help support that and keep it all intact. Protects the muscles, protect the front surface of the human body. The tensile support protects the viscera of the ventral cavity. Also maintains postural extension of the knee. The movement functions of the superficial front line: creates flexion of the trunk, so forward, and hips, extension at the knee, and dorsiflexion of the foot. Contains more proportion of fast twitch muscle fibers. The lateral line that comes up on the sides here. Postural functions: to balance front and back, and bilaterally to balance left and right. Keeps trunk and legs in proper coordination from the arm activity and prevents the legs from buckling. Movement functions: assist in lateral flexion of the trunk, so side to side, abduction of the hip, and then eversion of the foot, so bringing that foot inwards. So that all happens on the side of the body. It also assists in the deceleration of lateral and rotational movements of the trunk. The postural functions of the spiral line: to wrap body in a double spiral to help maintain balance across all the planes of motion, helps determine efficient knee tracking in walking, and when in balance aids in creating and compensating for and maintaining twists, rotations, and lateral shifts in the body. Movement functions of the spiral line: create and mediate spirals and rotations in the body, and also in eccentric and isometric contractions to steady the trunk and leg to keep it from folding into rotational collapse. The functional lines: back functional line and front functional lines. The back functional line runs from one shoulder across the back, so from one shoulder across the back to the opposite leg, whereas the front functional line runs from one shoulder across the front of the belly to the opposite leg. Some of the unique features of the functional lines: they're most active during athletic performance. When the back functional line is shortening, as in a baseball pitch, so if you brought your arm all the way up and brought it past, the back functional line is shortening the front functional line counteracts by stretching. As the pitch is thrown and it is released, it activates by shortening the front functional line, which creates the stretching of the back functional line. These lines work together to help, and they're used as a brake mechanism to prevent overextension of the joints.